welcome back to Amazing Coaster Tour. We're here today at Phantasialand in Germany. Behind me you can see the awesome fly, and we're actually staying in the Charles Lindberg Hotel. This place for 2 fun-filled days at Phantasialand in Germany. Lots of roller coasters to encounter today, and lots of shows that we'll be having a look at as well. So, in our usual fashion, let's go and have some fun. So we knew we were in for a good day of theming in this park, but it's been a long time since myself or Mrs. H has been to this park, and one has to say the theming is out of this world. I've never been in a toilet that's themed to the same area as the park itself. I can't remember that ever. Maybe a Disney park or something of that nature, but park of this nature in Germany with this level of theming is unbelievable. So I did mention earlier that we're staying in the Charles Lindberg Hotel, me and Mrs. H. We've both got one of these magic tickets, and for the 2 days that we're here, that allows us a fast pass onto the main attraction in the Rookbergh area where the hotel is situated, of course, fly. So we're just going to utilize one of our fast travel tickets, and as I said previously, unfortunately on-ride filming is not permitted at Phantasialand, but like I said, we get you enough off-ride shots so that you can come along for the experience with us. So around the corner here is our little special entrance, only permittable with a Charles Lindberg ticket. So let's go and have our first ride of the day, and it's fly. So we've just come off the awesome fly, and what a unique experience that is. I'm going to rate that as my #1 flying coaster. Although it hasn't got the inversions and the forces that you get exerted by the likes of Manta and SeaWorld, etc., this coaster is unique in itself. Obviously when you're loading, you don't get that upshift to drag you into your flying position. You actually load sideways, so you actually sit down for the first part of the track, and the track is running sideways, and then as you turn to head in towards the first launch, the seats then twist and then point you in that flying position. Now that's something I hadn't experienced before, so it's quite a joy to see, to be fair. But then you've got a very forceful first launch, not massively forceful, but enough to get you into the swing of things, you know. And then obviously the track intertwines around this magnificent area, seemingly giving you like near misses at every turn. And for me, that's what makes this coaster the best flying coaster that I've ever ridden. There is a second launch that takes you up into a hill lift, but there aren't the inversions on this ride. It's all about the pacing of the ride, the cornering, the sharp turns, the near misses. But when you're, you know, looking out around this magnificent area and you're on a roller coaster, it's fantastic. There are certain things, certain times that you think, what else can I use to express how I feel about this roller coaster? But it's a bit difficult for me to explain. You just need to ride it. This is it. What did you think about that roller coaster?
Very good. I really enjoyed it. It was different. It
was unique in a way, wasn't it?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the theme in there. It's brilliant.
Yeah, cool. So there you go. That's our little ride on Fly done. One good thing though is that we have another fast pass ticket to use tomorrow. Oh yeah, baby, let's do it. Absolutely love a park that prides itself on friendliness. Now look at this guy with his little feather duster out, cleaning all the rails and the lights around this area of Rookbergh. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic with a PH. As we enter what is called the Berlin section of the park, I've been referring to that area that we've just left as Rookbergh. Mrs. H has just pointed out to me that it's spelled R-O-O-K, so it's Rookbergh. As you can see, all the building facades around here, very, very nice. Very good attention to the detail around this park. Beautiful blue, sunny skies. Temperature's going to get up to about 28 today, I believe. So we're in for a bit of a warm day. So we need to take on plenty of fluids, won't we, Mrs. H?
And I think I'll have some fruit with my waffle.
What are you having?
Fruit.
With your waffle. Mrs. H is going to have some fruit with her waffle. Not me. I'll be going for the chocolate and the cream, no doubt. And as we enter this plaza, a nice little carousel swing ride with a water feature right in front of us. But yeah, first impressions of the park, I don't remember it. So it's basically a brand new park to me and Mrs. H today. But I'm loving what I see so far. All the water features, really pretty, nice greenery around. As we look back towards the main street there, we have the Winter Garden in front of us where there's a show, which we will definitely be taking because it looks like an acrobatic show and Mrs. H loves an acrobat. But like as you can see, everything around here is just so pristine, clean, tidy, plenty of waste bins around so that the patrons can keep the place clean. And we got this little mermaid statue surrounding another water feature. But I like the way that it's all laid out. There's a lot to see, a lot of nice things to feast your eyes upon. And of course, this fountain here interacts with the ride. We'll get a shot of that now, as soon as this ride starts. Beautiful flowers all around. An excellent piece of landscaping. It just really, really does make a park when there's so much for you to look at and so much for you to enjoy. Here we go. Take a little look at this swing ride in operation now. As you can see, as the ride lifts, so does the fountain. Really, really clever. The fountain dances with the ride. Look at that. Superb. If your legs are long enough, you're going to catch a splash of water on your toes. Fantastic. So we walk through these extravagant arches here. We're entering the park area named Fantasy. Oh, lovely, look at this. Glass roof there with all the lights on the top. We're not going to get to see the lights lit up, I don't think, because the park closes at 7 PM today. But all this greenery, like I said, there's a lot to see. Very, very pretty. Very well kept. Mrs. H would love to have something like that in the corner of her garden. Wouldn't you? Yeah? The thing is though, you probably... You're waiting to have a garden and it would probably die anyway, wouldn't it? Mrs. H has a tendency to not let plants live. Oh, look at this little beach area over here with the deck chairs. That's great. Yeah, the theming in this park is absolutely unreal. And you got a little selection of flat rides as well. There's one there that you pedal, and the more you pedal, the higher you go. Very clever. And there's a lot of food places around here, which is awesome. Me and Mrs. H have just had a little snack because we needed to skip breakfast this morning due to the fact that we had a little drive to get here. And I ended up with a pork and mustard roll, which had salad, cheese and everything in it, and caramelized onions. And it was absolutely fantastic. Mrs. H went for a chicken and craft, and that came with cream cheese and all the salad. And I think we had 2 rolls, a coffee and a tea, and it was less than 30 euros. And it was absolutely delicious. Best food that we've had in a theme park so far on this trip. There's a quaint little kind of monorail ride here with the cars. I'm not quite sure what's on the front of the car, but because this area is named Fantasy, I would imagine that it's some mythical creature. But yeah, lovely little area here. Another flat ride there for the children. Love it when they do look after the children in theme parks. You really, really need to have a good selection of rides for the kids. But then obviously then you can mix it with the thrill rides. And I think this park is a park that does it well. But look at that. Absolutely beautiful. As the ride goes around. And then you got little frog hoppers here. Awesome. So we're now entering the area Auras, and immediately we can see a jungle gym. That's what we refer to them back in the UK, isn't it? Climbing apparatus, slides, obstacle course, everything laid out there. Absolutely brilliant. It's like a little adventure for the kids. As we walk through here, Hotel. Looks like some sort of restaurant, is it? No. What do we have here? The spinning ride. All we need to do now is find the entrance. How wonderful. Spinning ride indoors. Good fun. Turns out there's two attractions in this building. Vinger's Fear and Vinger's Force. Both show we're in a 40-minute queue at the moment, but let's have a go. Okay, so a little bit of, what can I say, unfamiliarity strikes again. So we thought that there were two attractions, one spinning coaster and a dark ride. However, they were both spinning coasters. Vinger's Fear and Vinger's Force. So we chose Fear, and I gotta say, what a fun roller coaster that is. It's a ride with surprises around every corner. So on exiting the station, you go into this lift hill section, elevator style, but as you near the top, the track tilts, and then you're released down the track and into the ride. So we were on the car that was facing upwards, therefore we came down the first drop backwards, and then you go into loads of little spin sections, helix sections where you're spinning. And then there's another little twist when you go into the dark section of the ride, where it actually then takes you on another tilt, and then you tilt and then you drop again. So yeah, overall, what a great spinning coaster that is. So we did the Fear side, so the next time we ride, we'll do the Force. I'm not too sure who actually manufactures this coaster. I'll have to look it up now and give you an update on that. Should have done my research before I went on it actually, but it is what it is. So yeah, next time we do this coaster, we'll do the Force side, and then we can compare each side. But all in all, what a great little ride. So as we leave Phantasialand or First World, we now approach the Crazy Bats VR family coaster. 45-minute queue. The last queue we had wasn't as long as it stated, so hopefully this will be the same. Let's go and have a ride. Right, so just come off Crazy Bats there. VR family coaster. Wasn't going into it with any sort of anticipation, wasn't really, you know, building myself up for it, because the only virtual reality coaster that we've ever had the opportunity to ride was Kraken, and that was at SeaWorld in Florida, and that fell flat in his face, and then they removed it. However, Crazy Bats is absolutely fantastic. I can't believe I'm saying this. I laughed all the way around on that ride, and I mean, not just little giggles, I was hysterically laughing. It's just done so well. The virtual reality aspect of it follows the coaster track, which is what makes it, I think. And the only other thing I can really think of it being in comparison to would be Minions Mayhem at Universal Studios in Florida. Now, But that is where you're sitting on a ride, and it's a motion ride. However, this totally immerses you in that action. It's just fantastic. I can't say anything better than what I've already said. I'm sorry to say this, but so far for the day, this is the best roller coaster I've ridden. And I've been on Fly, and I've been on Vinder's Fear. So yeah, Crazy Bat is crazy. Hey, Mrs. H is there, look. So we've exited one area of the park, and we're going now to another area of the park where Mrs. H has discovered a nice relaxing boat ride. So we're gonna put our feet up for a little while and have a little relaxing time on the lake. You're looking forward to your little relaxing time on the lake, aren't you?
I am. I don't mind the boat ride at all.
Yeah.
Quite nice.
She loves a boat ride. But how pretty is this? Really nice. We got lots of greenery, very peaceful. Kind of ties in with the idea of a nice relaxing boat ride, doesn't it? Let's hope that when we get over there it's open. Or there isn't a 2-hour queue. If there is a 2-hour queue, I'm going to lay down on the bench like that and have a nice relaxing siesta.
Oh, Wacko Battle.
Yeah?
Is that what it's called? Because that was close.
What? Wacko Bat. Wacko Bat.
Called?
That's what it's called, yeah.
Is it? That's close.
Yeah. Really? So as we continue down this pathway, Mrs. H has just seen a sign that says Wacko Battle, or whatever it's called, closed. As you might imagine, I'm talking in a very calm voice because we're in a very calm area, tranquil. I'm not David Attenborough looking for the wildlife, just getting my calmer on. But yes, by the looks of things, Mrs. H's worst fear has come true and the ride is closed. 100%. So we're walking towards the Africa area of the park where the inverted coaster Black Mamba is situated. But yeah, yet again, proper immersive theming here. Absolutely world class in my opinion. Just seems to be able to encapsulate exactly the vibe that they're looking for. Really, really, really good attention to detail. Look at him there. Yeah. It's like every section of the park that you come to is like a little theme park in itself, which is just fantastic. We got a few African dancers here, look. Let them strut their stuff. Yeah. You like a little dancing show you do, Mrs. H, don't you? Really does. She really does like a little dancing show. They're proper having a go with the old drums there. But I spot a bar over there. And I fancy a beer at Bar Carumbo. Let's go get one. Absolutely. A nice little Heineken on a hot summer's day. Can't go wrong with a nice beer on a hot summer's day, Mrs. H. Sitting there enjoying, watching the world go by with a Heineken in her hand. But not too bad, to be fair. €4.50 for a drink. Quite pleasing. That's one thing I have been surprised by, is the actual cost of the things like beers and foods. Everything has been very, very cheap in my opinion. Not crazy prices, and that's what we like. Sensible prices, that's what we like, babe, innit? Sensible prices. Here we go. Entrance to Black Mamba, 35-minute wait. Just like the way that the queues themselves just lead you on a little adventure. In and amongst the track itself. Some great engineering around here in order to fit these coasters into this land. Just flies past you. Absolutely flies past you. The mad thing about these queues, and specifically these rides, is that you just can't see the track layout. So you have absolutely no idea as to what the coaster is going to be like. Like other places that you go, you know, theme parks elsewhere in the world, you could see the track, you could see the ride. With these, you just can't see nothing. And that's what makes this special. You just don't know what to expect. So we just had our ride on Black Mamba there, B&M invert, 4 inversions on there. Gotta say, we've ridden a lot of B&M inverts over the years, and this one just seems a little bit different, and it's purely because of the location. We were lucky enough, we got a front row seat, and so we get a good view of what's ahead of us, and the amount of times that I felt that I was going to end up in a wall was quite frightening, actually. So for that reason, I'm going to rate this B&M coaster as one of the best inverts I think I've ever ridden. Yeah, there's nothing, you know, there's no special elements to it at all. It's your standard B&M invert layout. You know, you've got your vertical loop, you've got the roll, you've got everything that you would expect from a B&M invert. However, because of where the ride actually takes you, I think this one probably tops most of them, in fairness. And having that front row seat made it all that more special. Lucky us, eh? Lucky us. As you can tell by all the lanterns above us, we are now entering the China part of the park, where we have the longest underground ghost train. Was it in Europe or the world? In Europe, Mrs. H says. In Europe. Oh, I don't know. There's the opening, but it doesn't say a time. Whether it's open or not, I don't know. The only way to tell is to go and have a look. Well, we've walked into darkness. The atmosphere has turned. It's a little bit spooky in here. Mrs. H is going to be holding on to me soon. But I don't think there's much of a queue here. Oh, it's quite scary. come here, and there doesn't seem to be any queue at all. Oh, maybe it's too intense for people, who knows, but we shall find out when we ride it. How is your nerves?
You know, we'll see. You know, I don't like a dark ride.
You don't like a ghost train?
No, I don't like a ghost train.
No.
Oh, I don't mind a dark ride.
She don't mind a dark ride, but ghost trains, oh no, not her favourite. But there's only one way of finding out whether Europe's longest underground ghost train frightens the living daylights out of her. See you when we get off the ride. So we've just come out to the exit of Europe's longest underground ghost train, and well, I guess they had good intentions when they brought this ride to concept, but yeah, not good at all. Nothing scary. Mrs. H didn't even whimper at all, and for me, the only way I can describe that ride is that there's 8 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back. Look, the animatronics were poor. Didn't really understand what was going on as we were going around. And yeah, barring a witch with evil eyes spinning round above us, that was about the scariest thing that we saw in there. Yeah, it looks like an old ride. Looks like something that they could potentially do something with in the future. But for now, Europe's longest underground ghost train. It's just a train, really, in the dark, and it wasn't even dark. One thing I will say about this area is it smells absolutely gorgeous. Noodles, noodle bowls, curries, everything. Smells divine. And then we have the Feng Ya Palace. Oh, fun. Feng Zhu Palace. What's this described as, babe?
Twisted senses in a Far Eastern palace.
Twisted senses in a Far Eastern palace. 10-minute wait. Let's have a go. Find out what's going on in here. Let's give you a little spin look at the Asia, China part of the theme park. Now, we've just come off Feng Zhu, I like to call it. A little bit of a pre-show, a little bit of kung fu fighting, and then we entered the Hex. Essentially, the same ride as Hex in Alton Towers, and the quality of production was not in the level, nowhere near, but nevertheless we experienced it. But yeah, what I'm getting about this part of the park is very weak. Other than the smells and the amount of food that you can get here, which is fantastic, I will say, this area of the park, although it's really pretty, really well landscaped, as far as the attractions are concerned, it's probably the weakest in the park. But you know, you get areas like that. Some people like it, some people don't, but for me, this is definitely an area that needs something to exhilarate, if you know what I mean. But yeah, onwards and upwards. Let's get into the next section of the park. Hello. Welcome to the Charles Lindberg Hotel cabins. We are aeronauts for the night. Check out this. Got a little TV there, a little cupboard there, storage under there, 2 single beds. All little touches. Pair of flying goggles there for Mrs. H to wear in the shower. Oh, Mrs. H has just discovered storage under the bed. On both sides as well. We got a little what's that? Was that a nautical clock of some sort?
Look at this. I was knocking. I can see through there. See?
Ah, yeah.
See me? We can flop it out.
What's that? Oh, we can see out. Turn it the other way and we won't be able to.
Yeah.
There you go. I'd say not a lot to show in this cabin, but it does come equipped with a very nice bathroom, sink unit there, the toilet there, hairdryer, and if we swing around, walk-in shower. Everything you need. It kind of reminds me of a gypsy caravan. Maybe Mrs. H will put a sign out front and we'll start doing some fortune telling. Gypsy Kelly. But what more do you need? A night at a theme park. A night at a theme park with a 3-course meal and a full breakfast and 2 days in the park, all for under £300. Can't really go wrong. I've got a view out the window. If we open the window here, there's the road into Phantasialand. But there you go, it's lovely, isn't it? Well, that's about it really. Oh, there's one other thing. If I go back out to the room, let's stick my camera through there. That is Fly, right outside our bedroom door. Quality. And as you can see, there's all a load of these individual cabins all the way across here. And here's a better view of Fly, the coaster. Really good thing about this this park is that every themed area comes with a themed restaurant, and based on the food that we've had here already, I would imagine that these La Cantinas serve up some real nice dishes. So if we walk down here now, we're gonna enter the main part of Mexico, and in this area we will find the Calamity Mine Train. Mrs. H has just looked on the app and she said that it's a 35-minute wait. So actually, scrap that. It's not called the Calamity Mine Train because that was a ride that we went on earlier in the week. It's actually called Colorado Adventure. Get my mine trains all mixed up here. And there's a view of the lift hill there of the mine train. Where's the entrance then? Let's find it. Think it could be down this way. Yep. So let's go and have a go on Colorado Adventure. So we've been looking for the entrance to Colorado Adventure, and here it is. 35-minute wait. Let's go get a ride. So we've just taken our spin on Colorado Adventure, a Vekoma mine train here at Phantasialand in Germany. And I was thinking to myself, oh, you know, standard Vekoma mine train. This thing's a beast. 3 lift hills, and some forces that you would never have expected when first sat on the ride. Me and Mrs. H was saying that normally you just sit on a mine train and it's like, wee, you know, enjoy it, bit of helix or that. No, not this thing. This thing's aggressive. This thing is out of this world. It's the best mine train I think I've ever ridden in my life. And that's saying something, because I've ridden a lot of mine trains around the world. But this thing, well, I can't fault it. We got off the ride and Mrs. H turned around to me immediately and said, we've got to do that again. So much so, I even bought a souvenir photo of this ride. And I don't normally buy souvenir photos, but this one was special. So maybe I'll post it on the vlog later on. But for now, I'm going to leave you with this thought. If you want an aggressive mine train, come out to Phantasialand in Germany, because Colorado Adventure will knock the living daylights out of you. It's fantastic. Colorado mine train there is just a prime example of how well these rides are themed, because you just can't see any of the track. You know, you get your slight glimpses from the side here where you can see that, you know, there's a couple of dips and that, but when you're actually queuing for the ride, you just don't see anything. And that ride really did take us by surprise. It was nothing short of superb. But like, as you can see the train coming here now. You know, that's one section of the ride. But it doesn't really set you up for what you actually experience on it. Do you honestly think that that is the best mine train you've ever ridden?
Yeah, it is the best mine train I've ever ridden. It was full of surprises, things I didn't expect.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this park, in the fact that around every corner there's a surprise. Just love it. Absolutely love it. So we're now a little bit further up in the mystery section of the park, where we'll find 2 attractions that me and Mrs. H are really interested in. Rake, which is a boomerang coaster, and of course Taron, award-winning multi-launch coaster. Currently down, but the cars are going around the track in testing, so hopefully just a slight delay of operations there, and we'll get to experience that in a little while. But for now, we're going to head towards Rake. It's for there. Behind you. There we go. 35 minutes for Rake. Again, superb theming around this area of the land. All fits in well. Perfect. Little view of the rapids there. Not sure whether we'll get to have a go at that. Probably the longest queue in the park. Currently over an hour wait. But for now, let's go and have a little look and see what Rake is all about. As we join the back end of the queue. See you when you get off the ride. Right, so we're in Mysteryland, and we've just had a ride on Rake, the Colma Boomerang. yeah, some good force on that, considering that the ride isn't that long at all. Takes you backwards, forwards down the hill, and there's some nice twisty turns on it, and then obviously then you go up the spike and then come back and do it backwards. However, for the length of time that we queued, almost half an hour, the ride was over in about 30 seconds. So be careful not to join a queue that's like 45 to an hour long for this. You're better off queuing longer for one of the other main attractions. See if you can get there and get on rake when the queue is low. That's my tip. So we've been anticipating this all day, and I think we're going to leave the best until last. It's Taron, 30-minute queue. Me and Mrs. H are going to get in there straight away. You looking forward to this one? Yeah, very much so. Now, the reason she's looking forward to this so much is because she's getting Velocicoaster vibes. And she loves Velocicoaster. But she doesn't love Velocicoaster as much as she loves the Ride of Happiness now. Still chanting the best ride ever. Ride of Happiness at Phantasialand. Oh, I feel a bit naughty saying another ride and park whilst we're in Phantasialand, but there we go. 30-minute queue. We'll be on it soon enough, and we'll give you an honest review, of course. There I go. So behind me is the awesome Taron. We've just come off. Advertised wait was 30 minutes. Felt like more like an hour in some baking hot sunshine, which didn't help the cause. So what we got here is an Intamin Blitz coaster, dual launch, top speed over 70 miles an hour. And yeah, I've got to say, both launches are really, really punchy. No inversions on this ride at all, but what it lacks in inversions, it makes up for in the way that the elements are distributed throughout the ride. A lot of twisty turns, a lot of pops of airtime as you come in, both lateral and over the hills. But yeah, all in all, a really, really good ride. Now you can see where Intamin have got their groove on, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to building these LSM launch coasters. There's certain elements within this ride that you will see on Velocicoaster in Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. And for me, this feels like a bit of a blueprint for Velocicoaster. The track colour, everything around it, it just seems very, very similar. I'm not going to compare it to Velocicoaster because they're two different animals. But what this ride does is that it takes you on a journey within rocks and all the turns. It just feels like it's out of control in a way, if you know what I mean. Can't really describe it better than that. It's just one of those coasters where you think, where's it going to go next? And yeah, Phantasialand have an excellent coaster here, absolute world-class coaster. And for us, we both really enjoyed the ride, didn't we, Ben?
Yeah, really good ride.
Yeah?
Enjoyed it.
Taron or Velocicoaster?
Velocicoaster.
Yeah? yeah, I kind of agree with Mrs. H. Velocicoaster just picks it for me. But then, you know, as I said previously, they're two different animals. Intamin have learned what they can and what they can't put within the space of a roller coaster, and so yeah, Taron is great. That's all we got to say about it. Don't know how much you can see of this theming in here, but this is Vinja Fear and Fall. We're in the queue line. Some great theming inside of this area as well. Nice little water features. But what we are noticing as well is as we're going around the park, there's like a lot of these little quirky seating areas. Like obviously this is part of the theming, but there's a seating area just carved out of the stone. It was the same over at Rookbergh by the Charles Lindberg Hotel, where they were like theming of pipes, and then they were like little place seats on top of the pipes. Very, very clever, very well thought out. Yeah, absolutely fantastically themed, this park. Can't fault it so far. So we've just done the Force side of Vinja's Force. I've just found out, obviously yesterday I was saying I didn't know who the manufacturer was, but apparently it's Maurer, out of Munich in Germany. Now they're apparently famous for their Wild Mouse ride, and Vinja's Force is more of your standard Wild Mouse ride. It's still got those unique little elements. Obviously the lift is elevator style, and then depending on which seat you sat in, you either get a reverse or forward drop into the ride. But halfway through the ride, there's a little twist where the ride stops and then it tilts you sideways. So you tilt sideways to the left or right, depending on which way you're facing, and you go down at like a 45-degree angle into a helix, which was unexpected but pleasurable nonetheless. So yeah, that's Vinja's Force and Vinja's Fear conquered here at Phantasialand, Germany. So we got a nice view on the bridge here at Mexico of the log flume. Nobody on that one. Yeah, you're gonna get wet on that. It's I believe the world's steepest log flume drop. Let's see if they get wet. Yep, they got wet. Very good view here, as you can see at the back there, Black Mamba going up the lift hill. Nice themed area here. Cancun, Nevaria. Get down there, all the building facades, really, really nice. Really, really pretty. Well themed. Very immersive worlds. One last look at the log flume. Yep. That gets you wet. So we find ourselves back where we started the entire trip here at Phantasialand, back in Rookbergh for our final flight on Fly. We're going to use our special ticket so that we get straight to the front of the queue. Now, we just came off an interactive 3D shoot 'em up dark ride called Mouse au Chocolat.
How did that go for you?
It didn't go very well for me. So on this trip so far, Mrs. H is 3 for 0, victorious in every single shoot 'em up game we've played thus far. Now I'm sure there's going to be a couple more, or maybe there's more than 3 and I'll win the next 4. But for now, she's the champion. So gonna get our magic ticket out now, and we're gonna get our final flight on Fly, and then we'll wrap up the vlog back at the car as usual. So here we have it, Rookbergh and Fly. Just a view across the road there at the car park. Note that all parking is free for hotel guests, so that's a bonus as well. Most parks charging 10 to 12 euros for parking per day, but we get 2 days parking free of charge. And as we come up here, you can see the Hotel Charles Lindberg. And here we are, back in the car park, ready to move on to the next destination. We've had 2 fantastic days here at Phantasialand in Germany, staying in the Charles Lindberg Hotel. And I gotta say, what a fantastic hospitality location. The food was excellent, the staff were fantastic, operations in the park were out of this world, and not only that, staying at the Charles Lindberg Hotel, you get 2 fast passes each for Fly, the flying coaster, which is an absolute stormer of a coaster. We've taken in some superb roller coasters over the last 2 days, and I mean superb. The theming in the park has been absolutely out of this world. And not only that, there are shows that they put on throughout the park as well, 3 of them. Nobis, which is an acrobat show. Then you've got Battle of the Best, which is like kind of like a hip-hop face-off with some acrobatic events happening in that as well. And then of course you've got Rock on Ice, an ice skating show to rock music. What more can you ask for? But now we need to move on. The next park we go into is Movie Park. We've got about an hour's drive to our hotel, and then a day at Movie Park before we continue our journey into Holland. So Mrs. H is already in the car, I'm ready to rock. Let's go, and we'll see you in the next act. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and check out all the rest of our videos.